Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhaled frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, you know, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just not cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer-mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Dig Dug?
Indeed it is.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It's time for Toker Talk Radio. It's Friday.
So you're not as bad as the video games.
Let's party, man.
You know?
What's that?
I said you're not as bad at guessing the video game themes as I thought you
well,
thought.
The old ones, man. My brother was like the king of Dig Dug. My brother Matt, who just turned 43, by the way.
We had like 3 or 4 copies of that, the big arcade ones at the last Retro Gaming Expo.
Oh, I love Dig Dug. Hey, welcome to Toker Talk Radio, everyone. I'm Radical Russ Belville. We got Brian the Red hanging out here.
Hey.
And Left Wing Larry has made it down the stairs.
Yeah.
Howdy.
I had to come down for the announcement.
Yes. We better get to it because, you know, Brian is accusing me of being a huge cock tease here.
No. I was telling you, you need to be a bigger cock tease.
Oh, that's right.
We need to wait until the end of the hour, just like regular news.
I can't. I've been.
You know how, like on the news, flesh-eating bacteria in a local store brand that you shop at every day. We'll tell you at 11.
We'll tell you at 11.
And then they wait till the last story. Yeah.
But no, I'm going to tell them right now.
Okay, get ready, folks. You're about to get blown away.
All right. Tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., I board a flight to Denver, Colorado to meet up with 2 business partners to scout out locations for a television studio upon which we will be broadcasting the world's first terrestrial 24-hour marijuana television network.
What? Jinkies.
That's right.
Tell us again, Russ.
Yes, there's a couple of guys reached out to Normal. These guys are television station owners, broadcast group guys out of Oklahoma that own a few stations around the country. And when they saw that marijuana got legalized, they went and bought up channel 5.2, the digital channel in Denver, Colorado. It's an over-the-air rabbit ears station.
Too bad it wasn't 4.2.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
Damn, we need to buy them out.
4.20.
Yeah, exactly. But so we will be renovating that channel. We will probably rename it Keef TV, Kief TV. Will be its call letters probably. Yeah, on Channel 5 in the Denver market. This means I will probably be moving to Denver and living there and producing the television shows. But what does this mean for 420 Radio? Get this.
Better.
Not only are they going to build me a TV studio, it will also house a separate radio studio to continue broadcasting 420 Radio and to simulcast some of our 420 Radio shows on the TV channel. Now, the eventual goal of this is to get Keef TV going in the local market in Denver, build it up through advertising with the dispensaries and all the ancillary businesses and so forth, and then get it up on the cable channel package there in Denver. I don't know if they're Comcast or what they are, but get it up on their cable channel package, and then start offering our feed as a feed to other stations that they already have licenses for and are waiting to roll them out to in Los Angeles, New York, Dallas-Fort Worth, Corpus Christi, And there was another one I forget off the top of my head. And then eventually, cross fingers, hope for the best, turn this into the WGN or TBS superstation of weed on your local cable and satellite system all across America.
Oh, yeah.
I get some questions in the chat room. One person asks, does that force you to be FCC compliant? Fucking ain't right, it does.
Damn fucking right. Unfucking fortunately.
Unfucking fortunately. But I've done it before. I did 2 hours on FCC radio. So
and that doesn't mean that we won't occasionally just have a side chat podcast thing where we throw an F-bomb Friday your way.
And the 420 radio side can still be, free because it's not covered by FCC because it's on the internet, but we are going to try to get it up on radio. And once that happens, we're going to have to go FCC on all of that. But that's a small price to pay for getting a huge audience and becoming potentially, like I said, the TBS of weed. This is like the universe reached into my head, plucked out my dream, and made it a reality. It's just amazing. So I'll be in Denver tomorrow. We're scouting out locations, and we're going to be discussing all the particulars and so forth. What does this mean for other 420 radio shows? Well, we will just set up Roll-A-Tide Studios like we did before, and we'll have Herb Thrasher do his Herb Thrasher Flower Hour from Roll-A-Tide. Brian might end up coming with me to Denver. We'll see.
This year is a new year, and especially with all of the background that I have in the cannabis, movement and about the plants and the medical aspects and the legalization ties and all that.
Yep.
And
we've got buy-in from High Times and from all the major orgs, Normal, ASA, SSDP, MPP, DPA to run LEAP to run their material on the TV channel. I'm going to be building shows like I got an idea for a Sunday morning panel talk show called The Session. Like they have like Meet the Press and all that kind of stuff. A late night talk show like a Jimmy Fallon type of show where you have a band and comedians and all that kind of stuff.
We'll get Ed Foreman.
Maybe Ed. Maybe I was thinking Todd Armstrong, but we'll see what we can do.
Whoever.
So yeah, we are really excited here at 420 Radio for what should be a blockbuster 2014. The only downside of it is living in fucking Denver. I don't like Denver. I never have liked Denver.
We'll have to scout that out.
But I think I could cope with Denver now that I can smoke weed legally there. And for the salary that they're proposing, I'll find a way to deal with it.
I liked that hilly area out near Hunter's place.
There we
get some property out in the hills.
All right, we got to take a break, and when we come back, we will have roving reporters and all sorts of stuff. They're going to give me the remote backpack, too, to be able to cover our events live on the television channel, too. So lots of details. Stick around. We'll tell you more.
The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at RadicalRuss.com.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the best way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at omarfigueroa.com. 420 Radio, the home of marijuana experts. Cannabis Outreach Collective is an alternative health and wellness option located in Gladstone, Oregon, that serves patients in the Portland area and beyond. We are a full-service alternative health and wellness collective accommodating patients with natural, organic, holistic, and homeopathic remedies, nutritional guidance, advice, education, and medical cannabis, fully in accordance with Oregon OMMP law. You can find out more about Cannabis Outreach Collective on Facebook at COC503 or by emailing cannabisoutreachcollective503 at gmail.com. or by telephone at 503-853-1319. Check out our menu on Weed Maps and visit Cannabis Outreach Collective today.
Mix some amaretto with some good ass weed. Go ahead, baby, that's all we need. Doesn't matter if it's blue or green, just as long as it doesn't have stems or seeds. Just picked up some little Christmas trees. Frankie and the jet, rolling us some beats. We see on the computer, looking at some beats. Just sit back, blazing up the streets.
Welcome back. Toker Talk Radio, about 11 after the hour.
The horn riff in that track is from an old reggae track.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, buddy.
Very cool. Hey, coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific time, we got the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Herb will be in here bringing you 2 hours of the best metal, rock, jam band, punk, rockabilly, hellbilly.
Yeah. Fast guitar.
Bluegrass.
You like it?
It's all in there.
And if there's a flying V around, watch out.
That's right. And yeah, so like I said, we're pretty excited about heading to I'm pretty excited about headed to Denver tomorrow. Although I got to rant a little bit about Frontier Airlines.
Oh.
So I booked my flight on Frontier Airlines, right? I did this last night, right? Now I understand it's, short notice and all, but paid with the hotel, I think it was like $400 total to book the thing. And big thanks to our supporters who have helped to pay for that ticket. One in particular who put it on his credit card for me. You know who you are. Thank you very much. Anyway, the Frontier thing. So I book on Frontier, and when I'm checking in this morning, you do the online check-in thing, and you pick your seat on the plane and everything, and then it gets to the point where you tell them how many bags you're gonna pack, right? Mm-hmm. And so I always put 0 because I don't want to pay the extra bag fees for the checked-in bags, right? And then I get to the next step, and it says, you didn't choose a carry-on option. I'm like, what? So I go back a step. Frontier Airlines is charging $25 for carry-on bags.
You're kidding.
No, carry-on bags. So, and so I got onto Twitter today, and I had a Twitter war with the at Fly Frontier and at Frontier Care, which is their customer service line. Mm-hmm. So you can tweet to at Frontier Care if you'd like to join me. So this is my, let's see, where's my first tweet? WTF, Frontier Airlines is now charging for my carry-on bags? MFers, I'm the one hauling the bag. Can I at least keep stuff in my pockets? To which, and then I also, then I replied with, I continued. I just barraged them.
Retweeted again.
I tweeted again. Dear at Fly Frontier, at Frontier Care, fuck you and your carry-on bag fees. Gee, do we still get seats or do we have to upgrade from cargo hold? Dear at Fly Frontier, at Frontier Care, I fly once a month. It will be on Southwest Air, at Southwest Air from now on. They let me actually bring a change of clothes. Now, after these three, I got a response from Frontier Care, who said, at Radical Russ, all passengers are allowed a personal item, and some tickets include a carry-on as well. Oh, wait, I forgot. Oh, before we get to that, I had a fourth one that I'd set out. Dear at Fly Frontier, at Frontier Care, carry-on bag fees. What other labor I'm performing would you like to charge me for? A get-off-the-plane fee? That's when they replied, at Radical Russ, all passengers are allowed a personal item and some tickets include a carry-on as well. To which I replied, gee, at Frontier Care, that's mighty generous of you. Shall I take my laptop or a change of clothes? At Southwest Air lets me take both and a bag free. I continued and said, let's see, 4 Denver flights a year. That's $800 I'll be spending with at Southwest Air instead of at Fly Frontier, at Frontier Care. And then I followed that up with, that means $32 $25 bag fees at Fly Frontier, at Frontier Care will have to reap to make up for my lost business. Worth it? To which they replied, finally, at Radical Russ, our Classic and Classic Plus fares include a personal item, a carry-on, and a checked bag. To which I replied, right, at Frontier Care. So are you telling me Classic and Classic Plus cost the same as economy? Of course not. So a change of clothes cost extra.
Yeah.
Followed by, yep, at Frontier Care. It's $15 if you want more leg room than a female gymnast, $25 for a personal item, $20 for a checked bag, and $1.99 for a Coke. Followed by, see at Frontier Care, flying is the only part of my job I despise, and it's gotten worse every year. Hashtag make Congress fly economy coach.
Good luck.
And my final one was a link to the South Park episode It. Did you
see
that?
Yeah. Screw the companies. We're gonna get around on our own. Oh well, it still beats what the airlines.
Still beats the airlines. If you didn't see the South Park episode it's from season 5. It's where there's this big transportation device that's invented that goes 500 miles an hour, so you don't have to fly. You can use this device instead. But to pilot it, you have to put a dildo up your ass and a dildo in your mouth.
Well, no, those flexi grips they said were optional at near the end of the episode.
Oh, yes, right. The flexi grips are optional.
But anyway, but most people.
And it's still better than flying.
Yeah, they got it in both ends, and then they still were like, okay, it's still better than flying.
So that was my war with Frontier Air today. And, that's on top of the fact that when I fly, I'm flying with my mobile studio, right?
Yeah.
So when I fly, not only got to take off my shoes, my belt,
usually
whatever's in my pockets and put that on the thing, I also got to take my laptop out of the laptop bag. I got to take the laptop stand out of the laptop bag. I got to take out the microphones, the mic cables, the soundboard, and the 2 lead microphone, or whatever those are. I don't know if they're lead, but those microphone bases
stands,
out of my bags. It's literally 7 bins. When I go through TSA, it's 7 of those bins I have to put through to get through the goddamn airport. And you want to add on top of that, don't take any carry-on luggage? You're lucky I'm only going for 1 day and I don't need a change of clothes. God.
Screwed.
I'm serious, man. Yeah. I'm not a communist. I'm not, much for, I like free markets and all that kind of stuff. But I only like free markets when there's a choice. And when it comes to airlines, in a lot of situations, we're ending up where we have fewer and fewer choices. More of these airlines are merging. You're getting less and less from them. Only Southwest doesn't charge for bag fees anymore. Everyone else charges you to take your clothes with you on a damn trip. It's time for Congress to step in on this. It's time for, nationalize the airlines for all I care. Yeah. It's time to do something. Come up with a passenger bill of rights that says we deserve better. Do you realize that the seating pitch in a typical airline is smaller seating pitch than prisoners get? There's rules and regulations with respect to transferring prisoners. Mm-hmm. And they aren't subject to what we have to put up with when we're flying coach in an airline. All right. It's a pot show, so let me get off the planes. It pissed me off so bad I had to say it.
I just remember the part of the episode one where Garrison brings up, there was a bailout, and we paid this giant fees for the airlines to stay, in business, and
well, that's the other point. Yeah, how many times have taxpayers bailed out the airlines only to get worse and worse treatment?
It's time for U.S. Air to actually become U.S. Air.
U.S. Air. There we go. All right. Well, let me get to a story here that also kind of pisses me off. Oh, and by the way, Big Daddy Fink, of course you're in for graphics. You are the number one guy I picked for the TV network graphics. I already told them about you.
Yeah, buddy.
A lot of people who have helped with 420 Radio are going to be helping with this. If they want to, are going to be helping with this TV station. But, we're not going to have enough time. So let's get to, where was I here? Okay. Coming up later tonight, we are going to have at 5 o'clock, new episodes of The Jody Emery Show. So make sure you check that out. 6 o'clock, we got our regular replay of Russ Belville Show. 7 o'clock, we've got the replay of this hour. And then 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, we've got Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. At 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, we have got the Big Daddy Fink's Funky Roller Rink. At midnight and 1 o'clock, we have Red Eyes Reggae Flashback. And, at midnight, Red Eyes Reggae Flashback. Yeah. At 1, the new Viper Hour. At 2, Drug Truth Net. And then Electric Bob's Boogaloo comes on at 3. So plenty of stuff coming up tonight.
And that's a good spot for the Boogaloo because it's playing like prime time almost over there in Europe.
Oh, yeah. The European time on that is going to be pretty good for them. So, yeah, hope they enjoy that. All right, so if we got Denver fans out there, Canny and Lively Libra and whoever else is in Denver, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be busy most of the day, but come evening time, probably be looking for something to do. So I'll see. Some of you got my cell phone number. We'll get this all figured out and text each other and figure out how we're going to get this working out. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this next chapter in life. Oh boy.
Oh no. It's something new. It's something exciting. It's something that we're giving back to the cannabis community.
It's time for our Fan Friday Trivia Contest, where the prize today is this edition of High Times Magazine from March of 1975. And Brian will flip through that. All sorts of old Columbia ads. And look at that old Normal ad. Next time you light up a joint, let your senator know. Old 1975. We're talking about a 39-year-old High Times magazine. And it's just fascinating.
He's older than I am. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's fascinating to
read.
It's
in better condition, too. Oh!
Fascinating to read some of this stuff. And the way that this contest is going to work, we're going to do it every week on Friday at 4:20. We have got High Times magazine issues that were donated to us from a fan in Florida, ranging from 1975 to 1981. Every week this year, we will give away one of these High Times magazines. And today is the first one. And all you've got to do is have the correct answer to the trivia question. Not the first answer, the correct answer, right? Because it's not fair to the podcast people that the live people would get to win it, right? So this weekend, email me. The address is right there on the screen, russ@radicalruss.com. Email me with your answer to the Fan Friday Trivia Contest. You might want to put Fan Friday up there in the subject heading. But reply with your answer to the Fan Friday Trivia Contest. I will randomly select on Monday in hour 2 a winner, and we will mail this magazine out to you. So here is your Fan Friday Trivia Contest.
Drum roll, please.
And it's not as easy as you think it is. What is the first name of the founder of Normal? What is the first name of the founder of Normal?
Now, so we're not going to tell you.
We're not going to tell you. You can look it up. You can use the Google, use whatever you want, but you got to find the first name of the founder of Normal. Email to russ@radicalruss.com. Monday, we will randomly select one person as a winner.
And reveal the answer.
All right. Now it's time for our 20 after break.
This is a cool issue. It's got Assassin of Youth, a review of the movie.
Yeah, review for Madness.
And Joan Baez.
Joan Baez, very cool.
Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you don't just want any attorney. You want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Lauren Vasquez knows the details of California marijuana law from both a personal and professional angle. Lauren Vasquez rose from the ranks of college normal activist to become one of the Bay Area's best marijuana lawyers. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com. The number again is 855-MMJ-LAWS, 855-665-5297 for your fired-up lawyer, Lauren Vasquez. Lauren Vasquez is an activist attorney you can trust. Call today.
Let him bring in the beat.
Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio, The Russ Belville Show, Ganja John, and Cascadia Concentrates, among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Adam's meticulous designs are individually crafted and screened in vibrant, high-definition color. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
Let him bring in the beat.
Drug Truth Network, Cultural Baggage, starring Dean Becker from Houston, Texas, Mondays at 8 a.m. Pacific on 420radio.org.
If you get high repeatedly, don't want to come down.
Brian and I are just looking over this 1975 High Times.
Man, you're going to get a real piece of history if you can answer this trivia question and you get picked as the winner. This is awesome stuff.
We're looking at the Trans High Market Quotations from 1975. You know where they go, the prices of weed. And out here on the West Coast,
the price of weed and the condition of the weed, right? Because I saw that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
West Coast weed, domestic, grown with exotic seeds, shows good potential. $15 to $25 an ounce. Commercial Mexican, mostly green, some brown, fair smoke, $10 to $20 an ounce. High quality Mexican, Oaxacan, rich tasting, good sinsemilla, light green, extremely tasty, $20 to $30 an ounce. I'm sorry. The sinsemilla is $40 to $75 an ounce.
Ooh.
Commercial Colombian in pressed bricks, $30 to $40 an ounce. High quality Colombian, Santa Marta Gold, $50 to $65 an ounce. Hawaiian green with red hairs, $150 to $200 an ounce.
Ooh, yeah.
Tie sticks, remember tie sticks?
Yeah, tie stick.
$15 to $25 for one, $135 to $175 an ounce. And honey oil, what? They had hash oil in the 70s?
Really?
Honey oil coming in at $25 to $35 a gram. Well, that hasn't really changed.
That hasn't really changed. Well, the method of making it has changed, but
isomerized oil.
Oh yeah,
30 to 40 a gram.
Yeah, that's basically Rich Simpson oil.
Yep. Afghani hash, 120, 180 an ounce. Lebanese hash, 75 to 100.
And the difference between the two was one was nice and flaky and light. The Lebanese was nice and light, and then the Afghani was all dark and pressed and oily.
And here's something: cocaine, all quantities, 60 to 120 bucks a gram. LSD, all types, $1 to $3 a hit. And peyote, just picked, 25 cents to $1 per
cap.
Yeah.
All right, now
there's your Trans High Market Quotations for 1975.
So now all of the people, I'm just astonished that it's like, okay, we've got all this information. It's been around for so many decades, and there are still ignorant people out there who think that drugs don't exist.
Yeah, really.
There's no drug problem.
No drug problems. All right. Let me get to a couple of stories I've got in the hopper here I wanted to talk about. A sad story coming out of the Chicago Tribune about a man, 19-year-old, who heard that his girlfriend bought some weed from another dealer. So he arranged to go buy some weed from that dealer and shot and killed him. Here's the story. The chain of events that led to Cruz's killing started when Ortega's girlfriend, the killer's named Ortega, the victim's Cruz, when Ortega's girlfriend bought marijuana from Cruz at Cruz's home. Prosecutors said today. When Ortega heard his girlfriend had been to see Cruz, he became angry, confronted his girlfriend in front of other people, threatening to, quote, take care of, end quote, Cruz, and then got into a red car and left. Ortega went to Cruz's home, where he found Cruz's girlfriend, but not Cruz. Ortega, who was wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, told Cruz's girlfriend he wanted to buy marijuana from Cruz and then left in a red car. When Ortega returned home, Cruz went to Ortega's home again, and Cruz, in front of his girlfriend, gave Ortega his phone number, after which Ortega left again in the red car. Ortega called Cruz about 11:35 p.m. and Cruz left the house, apparently to sell Ortega marijuana. Cruz's girlfriend was with him when he got the call, and she heard gunshots soon after Cruz left the house. She ran outside and found Cruz lying in a gangway and saw a man or a boy wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt running down the alley. So, this is a sad story. The girl goes to buy weed from the other guy, and first guy gets jealous and goes and kills him and uses the opportunity of selling weed as the way to gain access to the guy. Now, I'm not saying this wouldn't have happened under legalization. Crimes of passion, jealousy, Latin machismo, all had a lot to do with this. But if that girlfriend had had the opportunity to just go down to a pot shop and buy it, maybe this doesn't happen. This is the violence we're afraid of in the illegal marijuana markets. And this is what we're trying to avoid and trying to ameliorate through legalization. Now, another story that I wanted to get to, and this is interesting. In Colorado, they are proactively trying to ban the use of food stamps at pot shops. Now, food stamps for a pot brownie, asks the AP. It's an urban myth in Colorado, but state lawmakers want to make sure that doesn't happen. A bill proposed this week by several Republicans would add marijuana dispensaries to liquor stores, gun shops, and casinos as places where recipients of public assistance payments and food stamps can't use their electronic benefits cards to access cash. There haven't been any reports of the public using these cards at marijuana dispensaries, but lawmakers say pot shops should be added to the law to make clear it's not legal.
Okay, so in case you don't know how if you're not uber poor like, some of us, for them to be able to accept food stamps, they need to have a special program, license and account set up where they get their own little EBT pin pad from the state. And they're really going to assign, the state's really going to assign a pin pad to a pot shop. Are you stoned?
Here's the other side of it, though. They point out that the electronic cards that contain money for food assistance can't be used to withdraw cash or for non-eligible items like tobacco or alcohol. Right. So there was never a chance that a food stamp card was going to be able to be used to get a pot brownie.
They actually can be used, but if they find out that you did, then you lose benefits, and the store that did it gets
Gotcha.
fined and that kind of
So
stuff.
it's not allowed, but it's possible. Okay. But the public EBT cards that contain Social Security disability benefits or other benefits can be used to withdraw cash, a provision that has led to prohibitions on using public EBT cards at establishments like strip clubs, casinos, and liquor stores. Well, here's the problem. A lot of these patients are on Social Security disability, and they need to be able to get their cash out to buy their medicine. It's not like a strip club where they're trying to pay for a lap dance, or a casino where they're trying to play, blackjack, or a liquor store where they're trying to get, bourbon.
Yeah.
They're trying to get medicine. Why shouldn't they be able to use their disability card to get the cash to buy their medicine?
Well, at least at the dispensaries.
Yes, not the recreational pot shops.
Yeah,
So, this is just, but they're talking about pot shops. I think all of them,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're talking about overall, all of them. But still, they should allow dispensaries, maybe not to use food stamps on it, just because.
Yeah. Oh, got some more questions. I'm reading the questions in the chat room. ACB John, a cannabis broadcast, one of our new shows here on 420 Radio out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Canada. John's asking, will I be able to watch this in Canada? Yes. Keefe TV will be streaming online. You'll be able to watch it from anywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so giddy about this.
There's so much coming. You guys have no clue. There's like a tidal wave that's about to come crashing down on Prohibition, and it's going to start. It all started here at 420 Radio, West Belleville.
That's right. And I was so giddy last night, I literally couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I was in bed at midnight. I couldn't sleep. I got up. I did some, just kind of poked around in Excel trying to build some programming guides and such like that. Oh, and the other thing too about Keefe TV, it's going to be an 8-hour schedule, repeated twice a day. So we'll have the same 8-hour schedule, but if you're like in Europe, where you're 8 hours off GMT from us, then, or we're 8 hours off GMT from you, I should say.
Then it'll replay during.
You'll still have the schedule pretty much like everyone else, right? So really looking forward to that. All right. The other story. Oh yes. Which city is the stoniest city in America? There is a website called Movato that put out, what was the Mary Jane Mecca, they called it, right? And here's how they ranked it. They actually tried to put some science into this, right? They counted, they first of all, they took a look at the 100 largest cities in America. And then they, number one, looked at the number of marijuana dispensaries per capita, the number of residents with medical marijuana cards, the number of head shops per capita, the number of marijuana-related events and festivals per capita, whether or not medical marijuana is legal, whether or not recreational marijuana is legal, and whether or not marijuana is decrim. Okay, so based on those 7 criteria, here is what they came up with for the stoniest cities in America. And let me adjust the video on this Just one moment. Got to change that and change that. There we go. And I love it. Part of what made me notice this is it opened up with a picture of our friend Magic Ellison, a.k.a. Henry Hemp.
Yeah.
So there's Henry Hemp in the first picture, representing our number 10 city, number 10 most stony cities, Los Angeles. Wow. L.A. comes in 10th, right?
Wow.
And they wrote, quote, more people in Los Angeles have medical pot cards than in any other city in our top 10, 56,000 in all. Still, that's short of 1.5%, placing it in a tie for 5th place per capita. Okay, so there we go. Number 10, Los Angeles. Number 9, Sacramento, California, home of Ngayo.
Mm-hmm. So far, we've got 2 in Cali.
Yep. Mavoto said that Sacramento placed 6th overall in terms of dispensaries per capita. Number 8, San Francisco. Despite signs of prolific pot use in the city, San Francisco only managed an 11th place finish for dispensaries, with 1 for about every 10,000 residents. This is a picture from the 420-day celebration on Hippie Hill in Golden Gate Park. Our number 7 stoniest city. Let's hear it for Irvine, California.
Yeah, Irvine.
Irvine. Its placing had more to do with per capita head shops than dispensaries. It has 1 place to purchase paraphernalia for every 15,000 residents versus 1 dispensary for every 43,000 residents. And that's Snoop Dogg performing in Irvine. Our number 6 most stony city in America, Santa Ana, California. Mavoto wrote...
I'm starting to think that they're a little biased. Did they travel to any other states?
Santa Ana, California. Santa Ana placed 7th overall in terms of per capita dispensaries, having 1 for every 8,900 residents. It also managed a 2nd place finish for head shops, with 1 for every almost 11,000 people. Our number 5 most stony city, Aurora, Colorado. Aurora actually placed 1st for the number of medical marijuana cardholders who live there, a number that's slightly more than 2.1%. Our number 4 stoniest city in America, San Bernardino. It's San Bernardino, California. Mavoto wrote that San Bernardino has the most head shops per capita of any top 100 city in the U.S. at 1 for every 8,800 residents. It's also tops for festivals, with the likes of HempCon and several smaller events being held there every year. And there's a picture from the Cypress Hills Smokeout. Our number 3 stoniest city in America.
I'm getting down to it now.
Seattle, Washington.
Woot.
When your city hosts a 3-day festival devoted to marijuana and hemp that's attended by thousands of ganja aficionados, you know Seattle takes pot pretty seriously. It ranks 4th for dispensaries, and legal sales of pot are set to start later this year.
Hey, I was in that crowd.
Yeah, and in fact, just over that away is the Herb Age booth.
Yep.
Right around there somewhere.
You can kind of see his green flag poking out behind that other.
Yeah, just a little bit. Our 2nd stoniest city in America, Colorado Springs, Colorado, where our own Grey Wolf is. Colorado Springs managed a respectable 13th place ranking for dispensaries per capita. It was 2nd per capita with number of residents with medical marijuana cards. And this is a picture from Cannabis Therapeutics in Colorado Springs. And to the surprise of no one,
the number 1
stoniest city in America. Denver, Colorado. Of course. Mavoto reported the city ranked 3rd for dispensaries and tied for 2nd for the number of residents with medical marijuana cards. This is a shot from the 3D Cannabis Center in Denver on January 2nd. So there you go. Your top 10 stoniest cities in America. Courtesy of Mavoto.com, I guess.
They didn't come to Portland.
But you know what I think it is because we don't have official dispensaries, and so maybe they didn't have a count. I don't know.
They couldn't get around town and count all of the unofficial ones.
Yeah, I guess so. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll take your calls. We'll hang out a little bit, and we got more stories to talk about right here on Toker Talk Radio.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
marijuana goes mainstream, you need to be armed with the facts. Nobody can teach you better than Dr. Mitch Earlywine, Ph.D. You may know Dr. Mitch from his column in High Times magazine or his weekly appearance on The Russ Belville Show. Dr. Mitch is also the author of some of the best books on marijuana science, culture, history, and health, including Understanding Marijuana, Parents' Guide to Marijuana, Pot Politics, and more. Visit Amazon.com and search for Mitch Earlywine, that's EARLEYWINE, and order your books today. You can also contact Dr. Mitch by email at 420research@gmail.com.
Support the Russ Belville Show. Text the word Russ to 420-420 and connect with the National Cannabis Coalition. You can also send $10 to the Russ Belville Show right from your smartphone. That's Russ to 420-420. You're listening to Radical Russ on the Russ Belville Show.
.420 Radio, fighting prohibition since 2012.
If you're an adult who enjoys a good beer, there's a similar product you might want to know about. One without all the calories and serious health problems. Less toxic so it doesn't cause hangovers or overdose deaths, and it's not linked to violence or reckless behavior. Marijuana, less harmful than alcohol, and time to treat it that way. For more information, visit marijuanaissafer.org.
Welcome back, everyone. Toker Talk Radio, 43 after the hour. Hanging out here with Brian the Red. You know, we didn't get quite enough Reefer Madness in the first hour, do you think?
You know, I don't know. It looks like we got a little bit more. They're going to keep heaping it on us, you know. All right, we're keep on shoveling here.
We got some a report of Reefer Madness coming in from Kentucky.
Oh, I wonder how deep this one's going to get.
Yeah, this one's, you better put your waders on for this one.
Thick, deep, and stinky.
This is Kentucky Representative Robert Benvenuti, who I spoke to you about earlier. And this is his. This is during the hearings they had on medical marijuana out there. And remember, medical. We're talking about hearings on medical marijuana. And this is what he had to say. Let's just run the tape.
We've had, I think, a decent medical discussion. And then we jumped into recreational use. So for those of you who want to convince me that there is a medical benefit to cannabis, don't put the word recreational use when you come and talk to me, because I do not believe in recreational use of marijuana. And I could likewise fill this committee room with first responders, law enforcement officers, and parents of dead children based on the effects of marijuana, of driving intoxicated in child abuse. We already heard today from folks who talked about intoxicants and its role in child fatalities and child abuse. So we need no more recreational drugs in Kentucky. We have been decimated by opioids. We have issues with alcohol. We have issues with diabetes and heart disease from smoking. So now let's talk about the medicine. And let's talk about getting the right folks in the room, university presidents, our board of pharmacy, our board of medicine, and let's talk about a discussion with the FDA about how we can have supported clinical trials in Kentucky. If that's what you want to get at. If not, what we're going to do is we're going to end up with a system that has absolutely no function to be able to say with any kind of reasonable certainty without going through stage 3 clinical trials when this might be helpful, in what dose, in what form. And that's what we have to get at. And look, with all due respect, you don't have any FDA-approved clinical trials relative to cannabis.
Because they won't let us.
And we ought to make sure that we do not use this as a Trojan horse to legalize recreational use marijuana. So for the folks, look, there are processes to work with the FDA to expedite clinical trials.
Well, good luck.
And if that's where we have not been good at as a country as a whole, then that's what we need to focus on to see if there is any chance that this could provide relief to people who are suffering. But what we can't do is simply open the floodgates and create a different kind of suffering that Kentucky has already seen over and over again. So we don't, in an effort to get at one person's suffering, we don't want to cause more suffering. We have to focus on the folks who this truly might help. But we have to have the scientific evidence behind it, and we have a long-standing process in this country for determining that, and it's called FDA-approved clinical trials.
So
season 4 of Girls hasn't been
hard.
only announcement.
Thanks, Huffington.
Yeah,
Jesus.
so
based on that, I can think of really only. Well, that's not what I was looking for. I can only think of. Geez, I'm doing too much at once. I can only think of one particular reaction that would be appropriate for that type of testimony from one of our elected officials.
Yeah, because that was just ignorant.
Well, I got me a job at a rundown diner, making good tips and it couldn't be finer, till some lady said that I was being rude. She said my soup's too hot and my coffee's cold, and I said, ma'am, that's because you're old. And I decided right there to spit something in her food. So I found a plate and I hocked something in it. Wouldn't you know that at just that minute the manager was coming around that curve. He said, boy, you just must be crazy, not to mention dumb and lazy. I gave that fat bitch just what he deserved. I said, I quit, you fat motherfucker. You can take this job and shove it up your ass. I said, I quit, you fat motherfucker. I'm going home and I'm smoking grass.
All right, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. We're smoking hash, actually. But I did want to bring up a little bit of trivia. So the guy that does this song,
Nice Peter.
His name's Nice Peter, right? Guess what he's been doing lately?
Activism?
Battles of History!
Really? That's
he's one of the two guys behind Epic Rap Battles of History. With like over 3.54 million YouTube hits.
We need to get a hold of that guy.
Yeah.
Tell him we love playing his, his song on F-Bomb Fridays. Maybe we'll get him down for it.
Epic Rap Battle of History!
I love the Rasputin one.
That was a good one, I admit.
Was it Napoleon versus Rasputin?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was good shit.
Oh. Well, anyway, let me get to another tune or another subject here for us to talk about. You know, I keep covering the stories of BHO explosions, and the reason I do it is because the other media are going to do it too.
Yes,
and we need to be aware of this, and we need to start educating our community to not get themselves in the headlines like this, because just today there is a story on National Public Radio, and this goes out to a lot of people, folks. National Public Radio, marijuana hash oil explodes in popularity and kitchens. And so check this out. They're showing...
oh, yeah.
They got you a picture of one of those houses This
Yeah,
was
we've seen
in
this before.
Mount Vernon, Washington.
Stuff that used to be inside the house is now all outside the house.
Yep.
Windows are blown. Foundation is.
So
off a
that's the hole blown in the wall after an explosion in Mount Vernon, Washington in August. Police say it was likely caused when people extracted hash from a marijuana plant by mixing parts of it with butane in a 2-liter pop bottle. Making BHO in a plastic 2-liter pop bottle. I can't begin to tell you how stupid that is.
Oh, jeez. No wonder the people get bad experiences with some oil. You know what's leached out of the plastic when you blast through that? Ugh.
Yeah.
God, don't dab me with that.
Now, this is where in the report on NPR, they say, if you think the recent liberalization of marijuana laws around the country is only about smoking leaves and buds, think again. For users younger than 25, hash oil is where it's really at. This concentrated resin of marijuana is creating new public safety headaches, even in places where it's legal. There have always been forms of the substance, but the resins available today are much stronger than in years past. That's because, due in part to the expertise developed by medical marijuana producers who have learned how to make more potent versions of the oil. And the other thing about this that we're hearing is, I hear a lot from the younger people where they have this disdain for plant matter. I'm getting just what I want without the plant matter.
Yeah, well, actually, you're not getting everything you need, though. Because there are certain cannabinoids that get boiled off in the process of cooking that you're not getting that you would get if you had combusted the flowers. But that's another ring.
In Washington State, which legalized marijuana, authorities have noted an uptick in similar hash oil incidents. There was an explosion in a building in Seattle Tuesday, and the Seattle Police Department's bomb squad blamed solvents used in the production of hash oil. No victims in the explosion, but a big bang blew out windows, blew the walls 6 inches off the foundation, cracked the siding. And so there's all this, and they continue to talk in this NPR report about the hash oil explosion problem. And I've talked with Rick Cusick from High Times about this. I've talked with Keith Stropp of Normal about this, about how, and these guys, seasoned veterans of the movement, now in their 60s, are looking at this as this could be the cocaine backlash that happened in the 1980s. See, marijuana was doing great. Marijuana was doing great in the 70s. You read those High Times articles in the magazines from the 70s, and they'll go on about how much momentum there is for legalizing marijuana and how it's being decriminalized in all these states and how the public are finally changing their mind on marijuana. But the problem was marijuana got also linked with cocaine. Back in the 70s, people thought of cocaine as just a good time party drug. It wasn't addictive. There was no big deal to it. You have some fun and that was it. Despite the fact that going back in history to the 1900s when we had our first big cocaine epidemics, that we learned that wasn't true. Sigmund Freud and all those cats. But anyway, in the 70s, cocaine and marijuana were just two good time, harmless soft party drugs. They were both considered soft party drugs. To the point where even some High Times magazines had cocaine on the cover and cocaine centerfolds in them.
Yep.
Now, fast forward into the early 1980s, you get the death of John Belushi, you get the death of Len Bias, the basketball player, the #1 draft of the Celtics, you get Richard Pryor freebasing and setting himself on fire. All these high-profile problems with cocaine and people learning more about the addiction of it and people ruining their bank accounts and bloodying their noses and having overdoses and dying. Then people went, oh, I guess the soft good time party drugs are harmful, aren't they? Without realizing they were throwing marijuana in the batch along with cocaine. Well, now a couple decades later, people have realized that marijuana is okay and cocaine still is a hard drug. And in fact, I showed you those polls yesterday that showed while there's 58% support for the legalization of marijuana in this country, there is only 4% support for the legalization of cocaine. So the American people now understand quite well coke and marijuana are two separate things. Enter hash oil. Enter hash oil, where people that have no experience with marijuana are going to see reports of people, even pot smokers, falling out, passing out, puking because of their use of hash oil. And then, of course, the evening news story of walls being blown out and people being endangered is going to lead to the same kind of backlash against marijuana legalization that we saw in the early 80s against marijuana decriminalization. And a lot of us older folks are looking at the younger folks saying, knock that shit off, you idiots. Let the professionals handle this stuff.
Yep.
All right, I got to take a quick break, and then we'll come back, close out the show. Thanks for joining us, listening to 420 Radio, and soon to be Keefe TV. Oh my God. They are actually talking about launching on February 1st.
Wow.
I don't know. So there may be an occasional disruption or a day I might have to take the show off.
There may be a rampant dash
to
finish some things.
So we'll see. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Georgia.
Hi, this is Willie Nelson, and I need your help. Alcohol prohibition didn't work in the 20s, and marijuana prohibition isn't working today. It's time we stop arresting law-abiding citizens because they prefer marijuana over alcohol. Nearly 2,000 Americans are arrested every day on marijuana charges. We're unfairly destroying the lives and careers of hundreds of thousands of people each year simply because they smoke marijuana. These are not criminals. They're average citizens like you, good neighbors who work hard, raise families, pay taxes, and contribute to their communities. We need your help to end marijuana prohibition once and for all. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you.
Oh, I love Sammy Davis Jr. That's Mr. Bojangles. Hey, we just got a minute here before we wrap things up, but I want to thank everyone who's been involved with 420 Radio, and before that, the Normal Network, Normal Show Live, and even for a brief moment, PotNet. It's been one hell.
National Cannabis Radio.
National Cannabis Radio. Thank you, everyone who's been supporters up to this point, and believe me that as we move forward into the Keefe TV era, I won't be forgetting about the people that made this all possible. It's my hope that as many of you that live in the Denver area that I can get involved with the station, I will. And those of you who are online, get you involved any way I can. We'll have Big Daddy Fink doing our graphics. We'll maybe have some of you writing some stuff up, and some of the shows, we'll carry those on Keefe TV as well. And I don't even know if it's going to be called Keefe TV yet.
Yeah,
we're still seeing. We know it's not going to be K-Pot. I'm going to do that because then it's Pot TV, and then that's Jody Emery, so I don't want to deal with that. KTHC is already taken by a radio station in Montana. So we shall see. See y'all in Denver tomorrow. I'm Radical Russ.
K-Dab.
K-Dab? Oh, yeah, but then it kind of suggests that we're about dabs, right? I don't want to be generic about cannabis. So we'll figure something out. But anyway, that's all the time we got here for Toker Talk Radio. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, with replays at 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 6 a.m., and 9 a.m. Pacific Time. For Brian the Red, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us. The Jody Emery Show is next. Herb Thrasher Flower Hour is live at 8 p.m. Pacific Time with me and Herb Thrasher. For everyone here involved with 420 Radio, Brian the Red, Left Wing Larry, I'm Radical Russ. Until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you